Okay, good morning, class. Sorry for my voice, it's going away. At this point, we are busy with paper 2, November 2020. Is that correct? I know I told you I was going to do a pre-recording and then just send it to you guys over the group, and then I've realized that we have so much time left anyway. Okay? So instead of rushing it, we're going to just complete it as time permits. I've sent you the next paper already. Not so? So start working on that. I don't think we'll be able to even get out to any of those questions today. Okay? However, if we do, we'll start probably with question 1, and I'll give you some time to answer. Okay? So at this point, we are busy with which question? Question 2. No? So we only did question 1 in the last lesson. All right. So for question 2.1, we are told if angle A is 61,4 and angle B is 48,6, use a calculator and determine the value of the following expressions. So the first expression is tan of A plus tan 2B. So I say tan of A, which is 61,4, plus tan 2B, which is 48,6. Okay. So you punch that in the calculator. Tan of 61,4, close the bracket, plus 10. Now maybe you would put 2 and then open brackets, 48,6. That is not correct. Okay? So that means to say they take 10 of 2 and take that answer multiplied by 48,6. This is actually 2 times that angle. Is that multiplication? Which gives you negative 6,08. You all okay with that? Remember, they didn't specify for how many decimal digits, so we're going to take it to 2 decimal digits according to the initial instruction in the sum. Hi, morning. Oh, you're late? Okay, any confusion here? Okay, so let's look at the next one. In number 2.1.2, you have 4 pi cos of B, angle B, which is 48,6. You all okay with that? Put that in a calculator. 4 pi times 48.6 cos 8,31. All okay with that? Yes. Next one, we got tan squared. So it's tan squared A, which is 61,4 over 3. And when you put this in the calculator, remember that is actually tan of 61,4 over 3 all squared. That's basically the shorthand method of what is written here. Can you see that? We can't square the tan on the calculator. You understand? So you can't square the tan on the calculator. The tan is a function. Not so? The tan of 61,4 over 3 that answer must be squared. Make sense? So, if you put that in a calculator, you enter it as follows. It's going to be 10. You see, we can't get that square in here. 10, 61.4 over 3. You close the first bracket, close the second bracket. Okay? And that's being squared. 0.14. We'll look over that. .1.4. We got 2 cot. Now cot is what? Cot is the reciprocal of 10. Remember we got sine, cos, 10. In this order, its reciprocal would be cot, cot, sec, and cosec. Okay. Now on our calculators we don't have cot. Not so. So what will this be? 2 times 1 over 10. 1 over 10. Not so. So it's 2 times 1 over 10 of angle A, which is 61.4. Plus cos A, 61. 1.4 minus 48.6. I could have put that 2 on top as well there. You would have read 2 over 10, 61.4. Not so? The same thing. So let's put that in the calculator. Uh, 10, 61.4 plus cos 61.4 minus 48.6. 2,07. You all agree with that? Any confusion at this point? Any confusion? In question 2.2, without using a calculator to determine the value of showing or working, draw the special angle triangles. Okay? Now some of you, I know you're very good at camouflaging how you got the special angles. So we enforcing you to show us the triangle you have used. Okay? So if you haven't shown the triangle, you would have lost half the marks. Okay? So if it explicitly says you must use this, show the special triangle, and you don't, you lose out. Because there is an exam that you will write later on when you apply for universities. It's called the National Benchmark Test. It's a 3-hour maths exam that you write without a calculator. There's quite a bit of tricks in there as well. And the tricks where you have to actually work out its values is without the calculator, and is using exactly the special angle triangles. So make it a habit of knowing it. No? So the special triangles are as follows. You got the 45-degree triangle. That's 1, 1, root 2. You got the 30-degree triangle. It's 1, 1, 1, 2, root 3. And you're 60 here. And this one is not a triangle, but it works for what we're looking at. There's no degrees here. 90 and 90 there will be 1, 1, 2, a 0. Okay? So we got 2. Cos of 45. Cos is adjacent of hypotenuse. So it's going to be 1 over root 2. Tan of 30. Tan is adjacent of hypotenuse. So it's going to be root 3 over 2. Over. For those of you who are a bit confused, we got sine, cos, and tan. It means nothing without the angle. Sine is Oliver has a hat of apples. You can remember, some of you remember Sokatoa, or whatever dirty rhymes you guys have, works for this. You can use it, okay? So cos of 60 is adjacent of opposite of hypotenuse. Here's your 60. Opposite is root 3 over 2. Okay? So on top, this cancels. So I got the root 3 over root 2 divided by this here. It's the same as saying divided, not so. So if I change this to multiplication, I tumble n times. Not so. So multiplied by 2 over root 3. So that cancels. Leaves you with 2 over root 2. Or, if you simplify this using rational numbers, rational denominators, it should be root 2. Okay. All okay with that? In question 2.3, question 2.3, we're told in the diagram below, B is the point -3 and -4. So that's not on the diagram. Determine the length of AB. Determine the length of AB. So in other words, you must calculate, if you complete this triangle here, okay, there's your 90 degrees. That's an X and a Y, not so? So this is going to be -3 here on your X, and -4 here. So how are we going to calculate AB? You're going to use Pythagoras. Remember, that's a right angle. So it's going to be AB squared equals -4 squared plus -3 squared, which is 25. The square root thereof is okay, any confusion there? So the first question says, the second question, sorry, it says without the use of a calculator determine tan of theta. So again, sine, cos, tan, Oliver has a hat of it. So tan stands for opposite over adjacent. Now that's your difference angle. Opposite is -3, sorry, -4 over -3, which is 4 over 3. Okay. So we said the reciprocal function to tan is cot, sec, cosec. So it's the reciprocal function. Cot is adjacent over opposite. Sec is hypotenuse over adjacent. Cosec is hypotenuse over opposite. Okay? You all okay with that? So cosec is hypotenuse over opposite. So my hypotenuse is 5 over opposite, which is -4. Okay? And the last one, we have 2 sine squared plus cos. Okay? So what does sine stand for? What does sine stand for? Opposite over hypotenuse. So it's -4 over 5 squared plus cos adjacent of hypotenuse. You see that? So it's going to be negative 3 over 5. Now there, just punch it in the calculator. Another sum says without the use of a calculator. However, there's a way of calculating your angle theta with a calculator, and you'll get exactly these values out there looking for. So that's when they say without the use of a calculator. Okay? But this is simple enough to do it even without the calculator for some of you. So you got 2 into negative 4 over 5 squared. Plus, something like is negative 3 over 5. That gives you 17 over 25. Okay, is there any confusion here? No confusion? So in question 2.4, determine the value of beta of each of the following equations where beta is in the acute angle. If they say beta is in the acute angle, what does that mean? It is a 90 degrees, between 0 and 90. Which also means to say it's lying in the first quadrant, not so? What if they'd ask us well, with the use of a calculator? Just coming back to this one. This question was not asked. I'm just going to show you something. Okay. What if the question was determine with the use of a calculator the value of theta? What if they ask you to have worked out the value of theta? We know that we have a triangle. I'm going to work that reference angle out there. But this angle is called angle A for now. So this opposite is what the length is 4, and this adjacent is 3 to the angle. Not so? So how am I going to work out angle A? This triangle is this triangle here. No? How are you going to calculate angle A? You use tan. So you say tan of angle A is equal to opposite, which is 4 over adjacent, which is 3. So angle A works out to be what? How do you work out angle A? Arc 10. So work out arc 10, what do you get? (53,13) degrees. So how do you get angle theta? Add 180 y. So angle understand that. So it will be 180 plus 53,13 gives us an angle of 233,13. Does it make sense? Okay. (2.4), we read the question. So how do you calculate beta here? How do you calculate angle beta? You say arc sine 32,177. Not so? Then you calculate the shift side 32 over 177. You take comma 42. You will agree with that? Again, it's no. They didn't specify to 1 decimal place, so it's going to go to 2 decimal places. You all okay with that? Let's look at the next one. 2.4.2. What needs to be done first here? Sorry? Taking negative 3 over. So it becomes 5 cot beta equals 4. Now what? Divide by 5. So cot beta is equal to 4 over 5. Now what? Cot is equivalent to 1 over 10. So 1 over 10 beta is equal to 4 over 5. Now I can either cross multiply, or if I take the reciprocal of the left hand side, I must do the same on the right hand side. It's equivalent. So in other words, that's going to be tan beta over 1, which is tan beta is equal to 5. Okay. Otherwise, if you had cross multiplied, you can only cross multiply if there is one fraction either side of the equal sign. Okay. As well as when you apply this, what I just did now, you can only do it when there's one fraction on either side of the equal sign. So that's going to be your 5 equals 4 tan beta. Divided by 4 both sides, so tan beta is 5 over 4. Okay? The same thing. Now what? Arctan. So beta is equal to arctan of 5 over 4. Arctan of 5 over 4 is 51,34. Any confusion here? No? Okay. Next question. We have 2 sine, sine 2 beta minus 10 equals 0, comma 2 cos 20. So can I take this 10 over the equal sign here? No. We have to first sort out, let's first get this on its own, not so. So how do I do that? You can say arc sine (0, 2 cos 20). Or what I could have done was I could have worked out 0, 2 cos 20 first. 0, 2 cos 20 would have given you 0, 1, 8, and 7, and the number carries on. Then you go arc sine of that answer, give you 10,83. You guys agree with that? Otherwise, I just did what I did on the board here. It's arc sine 0, 2 cos 20. 10,83. You all okay with that? So 2 beta minus 10 is 10,83. 83 what? Degrees, of course. Okay. Now what do we do? Take the 10 over, so it becomes plus 10, and then divided by 2. So it's going to be plus 10 divided by 2, which is 10,42. Okay? 10,42 degrees. Morning. Is there any confusion? Alright, so that gives you 26 marks in trigonometry. Okay. Now question 3.1. The parallelogram below, or in the parallelogram below. So if this is given a parallelogram, what comes to mind? 4 properties. Comes to mind immediately. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Diagonals bisect each other. Okay? So here, if you're looking at diagonals bisect each other, that length is equal to that, and that length is equal to that. And so, opposite sides are equal, that is equal to that. That length is equal to that length there. And the others is already marked equal. Parallel, sorry. And opposite angles are equal. So that whole angle is equal to that whole angle, and that angle is equal to that angle. So all that qualifies for just that statement in parallelogram. Okay? Triangle ABD, ABD and BDC are right angle triangles. Angle ADB is 40 degrees, which is this angle here. Okay. So the first question. So in 3.3.1, calculate the length of dB. So 3.1.1, the length of dB, this length. How are you going to calculate dB? We have 40 degrees. We got 8 there and 40 degrees there. So how are you going to calculate dB? By using one of the trig ratios, not so. Which one in particular? Adjacent and hypotenuse. Can you see that? Which is cos. So cos 40 is equal to dB over 8. Okay, you will understand. So naturally this is over 1, we cross multiply. So dB is equal to 8 cos 40. There's 8 cos 40. Make sure there's a D on top, not for degrees. It's 6,13. You all okay with that? Okay. So I'm going to put here 6,13. Any confusion? No? Right? Take us out here. Also note that I'm starting to populate the diagram. Put all this information that I've calculated on the diagram. Okay? You'll see me erase this probably in the next sum. Why? Is to keep the diagram in focus. Okay? Give a reason why BC is 8 centimeters. Who can tell me why is BC 8 centimeters? So 3.1.2, opposite sides equal in parallelogram. Or palm. Or you can write the word parallelogram. You all agree with that? You all understand? No? Those are one of the properties we already said initially. Now when we said it's a parallelogram, those things came up. Opposite sides are equal in a parallelogram. You all okay with it? Now say for argument's sake you didn't know this here. And you leave that now out. Then in your next step you write 8 in the diagram. Because why? The reason why they ask you that is probably based on the next question. Your next question is based on the previous question normally. Not so? So write it in, even though you didn't get it, okay? If you didn't get it. You all okay with that? Next question. Hence, or otherwise calculate the length of DC. DC is this length. Use other colors. So DC is this length. So how are you going to calculate DC's length? Pythagoras. Why? Because if you look at what you have a triangle here. You have 90 degrees. This DC. You've got 6,13, which you've calculated from the previous one. And then you've got 8. Do I have to draw this triangles all the time? No. I'm just highlighting to you what you should be seeing. Okay? You all okay with that? So we said Pythagoras. So it's going to be 8 squared is equal to 6,13 squared plus DC squared. Pythagoras. With angle BDC equals 90. Since this is trigonometry, you don't need to write the reason unless they have stated. You must write the reason. So here to calculate DC, you didn't need to write a reason. Okay? It also says hence. What does hence mean? Let's use the previous question. And the previous answer we got was 8 and 6,13. Can you see that? So DC squared is equal to 8 squared minus 6,13 squared. So DC is equal to... People, if you wanted to have written DC squared is equal to 8 squared minus 6,13 squared as your opening statement, no problem with that. Full marks on you anyway. Okay? It's going to be 8 squared minus 6.13 squared. Gives us 26,42. The square root thereof is 5,14. That's 5,1. Okay. The next question, 3.1.4. Calculate the size of DC, C, and so E, CD, E, CD. So it's this angle here that they want you to calculate, not so? You just draw with what we have. We got here, got C and E. This is 5,14. To calculate the angle ECD, I either need this length here or that length here. Not so? You need one of those two lengths. Otherwise, if you had that angle, it would have been so much easier. So how do you think we're going to calculate that angle? 36. What do you say? The 6,13 is divided by 2y, because those lengths are equal. Okay, that's one of the properties of the parallelogram. So you're going to first say that ED is equal to 6,13 divided by 2. 6.13 divided by 2. That's 3,065. It's 3,07. Okay. And why is that the case? What's the reason there? What's the reason? Diagonals. You don't need to write this, but I'll just write it down so you guys can follow. Diagonals bisect in parallelogram. The diagonals bisect each other in the parallelogram. You all okay with that? So, which trigonometric function uses opposite and adjacent? Tan. So we say tan of ECD is equal to 3,07 divided by 5,14. So ECD is equal to arctan of 3,07 over 5,14. Arctan of 3, I think that's the answer calculated. Yes? So arctan of answer over 5.14 is 30,81 degrees. Okay, any confusion there? Any confusion? No? In question 3.2, okay, so we told in the figure below the angle of depression from an angle E. As you can see here, from angle E, the angle of depression, the angle that goes down. From angle E to the mouse M. is 43 degrees. So that's already marked. The angle of elevation is the angle that goes up on the horizontal. The falcon F is 17 degrees. 3.2 is 10 meters in length, 10 meters high. And AB, this length from the foot of 3.1 to the foot of 3.2 is 100 meters. So everything from the introduction to the sum is on the diagram. You all agree with that? Right. Some diagrams you need to fill in information in as well. Okay. So the question says, calculate which bird has the shortest distance to fly to the mouse. Show calculations. From here it's clear the falcon has the upper hand. Not so. They give you 8 marks and they're telling you show calculation. So if you stay straight, the falcon, you lose everything. So you're not adhering to the instruction. Make sense? So what are we actually calculating here? We're calculating EM, yes, and FM. Not so? So if the bird, the eagle sees the mouse, he's not going to fly down here and then there. Not so? He's going to go straight. So to calculate those values, let's look at the eagle first. We can't calculate the eagle first. We're shorting too much information. Not so, because the only thing at this point we can say is that that is 43 degrees. Not so. Nothing else we can say. So let's rather start off with the falcon. The falcon F. Okay, for the falcon, we have, remember this is a right angle triangle. Not so. So you're going to use the basic trig ratios there. So we have opposite, and we want to calculate the hypotenuse. Not so. So which trigonometric function is opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So we say sine 17 equals opposite, which is 10 over FM. Not so. So we put this over 1 and we cross multiply. So FM sine 17 is equal to 10 divided by sine 17, so it's 10 over sine 17. Okay, so for 10 over sine 17 gives us 34,2. So this length here is 34,2 meters. So the falcon only needs to fly 34,2 meters to reach the mouse. Not so. Now coming back to the eagle. I want to calculate this. So in order to calculate that length, it's either I must have the height of the tree or I must have AM. Not so. However, at this point we can calculate MB. Not so. Once we have MB, we say 100 minus MB will give me the length of AM. Make sense? Alright. Let's go with that. So for the eagle, the pursuit of calculating the length of the eagle needs to fly, the distance the eagle needs to fly is going to be, how are we going to calculate MB? Sorry? Pythagoras. Or I could have used opposite and adjacent, which is tan. I could use any one of the two. Okay, so I'm going to go with Pythagoras. We'll go with tan. So tan of 17 degrees equals 10 over MB. So naturally this is over 1, so I cross multiply. So MB tan 17 is equal to 10. Divide by tan 17 both sides. So you got MB equals 10 over tan 17, 32,71 meters. So that is 32,71. So what do we do now? Okay, we must state that EMA is equal to 43 degrees at this point, which we drew right in the beginning in on the diagram. So we're going to calculate AM. It's 100 minus this here, not so? 100 minus 32,71. That should have done first. So it's a 100 minus, gives you 67,29. 67,29. Okay? So now which trigonometric function am I going to use now? We have the adjacent, and we want to calculate the hypotenuse of this piece, which is EF, cos. So we say cos of 43 degrees equals adjacent, which is 67,29 over EM, which is the eagle to the mouse length. Not so? So what do I do now? Cross multiply. So EM cos 43 degrees is equal to 67,29. Now what? Divided by 43 both sides. So it's going to be 67,29 divided by cos 43 degrees. 67,29 over cos 43. Gives us 92,01 meters. Okay, so let's answer the question. What's the question say? Calculate which bird has the shortest distance. So you say therefore the falcon has the shortest distance. Okay? And you can say if you want by how much shorter it is. But by concluding already, you would get the full marks. You didn't ask by how much meters shorter the falcon or the eagle done or whatever. Okay? Do you guys understand? Right. I know that was quite a bit of marks there. 8 marks on that side. Okay. I know it's easy 8 marks, no? Yes,
So where would you get the 8 marks from?
all over.
No specific box.
For this year it's already 2 marks. No? There's 1, 2. Sometimes you get even 3 marks on this one. I would give 3 in the opening 3 marks probably. No? Then here's again 2 marks. Okay? So you got 5, 6, 7, and the 8th mark is here. I think what they did was we took that mark out there and we gave it here 2 marks on the side. Okay? So you know, normally they give it to you in the opening of the equation. Now some of you do for the opening equation and you come straight to that. Not so? There's 2 marks. Or even if you do so many steps between, you'll still get only 2 marks. Okay? You all okay with this? In question 4, it says, give a brief explanation of your understanding of irregular nonagon. Irregular means what? The angles are not the same. So a nonagon is what? 9 sides. So you say it's a 9-sided figure where the angles and the sides are not equal. Okay? So 9 sides with angles and sides not equal. Or you can say it's 9 angles. Okay, but normally we talk about sides. So 9 sides with the angles and the sides that are not equal. Okay? If that said a regular nonagon, what does that mean? It's 9 sides, all the angles and all the sides being equal. Okay? The next question in 4.2 state whether the following is true or false. Yes? This was last year's paper 2 for grade 11, 10. So last year's grade 10's got it. So why wouldn't you get?
Thanks, sir.
A pleasure. Okay? But it's not something that has to be given. Understand? So if the examiner wants to give you true or false, we don't want to. No? So don't prepare yourself for a multiple. No. Okay, you just see when you get there. So in 4.2.1, state whether the following statements are true or false. A kite is an irregular polygon. True or false? True. I just told you now in the previous question. What is regular? All sides are equal and all the angles are equal. So if you look at the kite, you got that equal to that. How can it be regular? So in other words, there's only one regular. Hello? What am I here? Alright, sorry about that. So, what I was trying to tell you is there's only one. There's only one regular 4-sided figure. There's only one. And which one is that? The square. The square is the only regular quadrilateral. What's a polygon? A polygon is an enclosed figure with any amount of sides. You can have any amount of sides. Not so? But it's enclosed. A rhombus is a regular polygon. False. All polygons are convex. If one of those sides are concave, which is inside. Convex means to say all is outside. All is going this way. You see? Convex. But this one's going in. Is this a polygon? Yes, it's enclosed. It's made up of sides. So, all polygons are convex. Okay, next. All regular octagons are congruent. What does congruent mean? Exactly the same size and exactly the same angles. All regular octagons, regular means to say all the sides, all the angles are the same, are congruent. The answer is false. Why? Because they're not all the same size. But are all regular octagons similar? Yes. Why? For what is the case for the similarity? They are equiangular. The angles are all the same. Not so? Which will then result in the sides being proportional. Okay? But we do more of that in grade 12. Okay? And now we've done it in grade 9. And then the line segment drawn from the midpoint of one side. So this is leading into the midpoint here. Let's check here what they say. The line segment drawn from the midpoint of one side of the triangle to the midpoint of the other side, parallel to the third side, and is half its length. So that is A, that is 2A, or 2A and A. Is that the case? Yes. The line segment drawn from the midpoint. So the midpoint is already qualifying that that is equal. Not so? And if that is equal, we know that that is twice, or that is going to be double onto that length. Not so? Or the shorter length is half the longest length, longer length. You all agree with that? So is true or false? Huh? True. Sorry? You all okay with it? Right. .3. The two figures below are regular polygons. So what does regular again mean? All sides, all dimensions. Determine without using a protractor. Without using a protractor. What type of polygon is figure B? Octagon. What makes it an octagon? It has 8 sides. Is it regular or irregular? A regular octagon. The sum of the interior. Okay, we'll start. We'll carry on with this tomorrow. Please carry on answering the next past paper I've given you. Okay. People enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon. Good morning, class.